Hi everyone. So good morning. Yes, we can't get our light so nice, but we're gonna buy us that expensive light that everyone talks about, right? Today is our second day with sharing our pregnancy journey with everyone. We're gonna share our tummy just now. Our tummy that was in the morning. Milk is amazingly running and coming out, right? So it's not running, but it's like amazingly there. And we constantly check our multis and all of those processes in our tummy. What we are sharing this morning with breakfast is our wheat biggies. It's nice and warm. We're having a light cup of coffee, and we really do not suggest coffee in pregnancy. We really do not suggest that. I really go with the rules, right? They call it rules, but we don't want to call it rules, but it's an education that we find on Google about what to do and what not to do when we're pregnant. And one of those educations are to not have coffee, but I have it very light because I've been craving it sometime the whole time, and I have it in the mornings. Not every morning. Most of the time, I have my tea because everyone knows I love tea, but I've really been craving light coffee. I always have that I don't normally drink coffee, but I crave it. And when I crave coffee, and then I drink not a lot of it, but I drink coffee sometimes. My family is coffee lovers, but because coffee makes me very edgy. It makes me edgy, but I love it sometimes. And then we are having some water, a little bit of water with that. And then we are also having our toast, right? A jam toast. That's our meal for today for breakfast. Yesterday we had lunch. What did we have for lunch yesterday? We had a sandwich, right? A sandwich. I can't remember what we had on the sandwich. In with gravy, with with beef we had yesterday. Yeah, red meat is good. We had what kind of beef was it? Um, I can't remember now, but it was beef. That nowadays we so cautious to eat our red meats because there's a whole lot of things that happens in the world. But we always make sure that when we buy red meat, it's now everyone knows the meats, right? You know when it's really beef and you know when it's really lamb. All the other meats, we sometimes just have our chicken and we have chicken a lot. Yeah, because of human meat, some people are fine to eat human meat. Humans are chopped these days. It goes into the butcher. You don't realize it, but it's there. There's a whole lot of meats these days in the market, and that's why a lot of people are kidnapped. I don't know if humans prefer to eat human meat. We're gonna talk about that someday because a good suggestion. Sorry for all the pregnancies, but it has to happen. We have to discuss these myths because we're giving birth to babies and we're not it's not animals where we don't share all of this information. So for those of y'all who really don't want to listen to what's happening in this world, these are the things that we need to talk about because when you give birth to this little child, then the whole world is in on realizing what happens in the world. These educations of people that have been kidnapped to go into the butcher rooms on television. The television educates us about the films, and we need to discuss these things so that we learn to be protective. Yes, we learn we don't just go and drop, we don't just leave our children where they are at, but we are constantly making sure that the implementations in our countries the rules that all of those everyone. That's why we talk about all of these things. We don't just leave it at it. You do not just get pregnant to have a baby and then you don't worry about the baby. We get pregnant, we appreciate our children. Yes, our families are very much about that. And we really educate what is really required. That we really sometimes if there's people that really have babies that really do not maybe want to sometimes have babies, but there's a lot of educations on that, a lot of rules and legislative nurses concerning that. America has been very firm on that education for quite some time, and they educated it on social media also where they are at with those discussions with young people. and other countries that has not really discussed it with young people. There's really processes that are being managed in the world, and that you can go to police, you can go to police stations to go and find out if you really don't know, because you're sometimes from international countries. But in certain countries that knows the processes, there's really houses, governmental houses that you can sometimes go to go and find out if you feel a bit challenged mentally, if you feel but alone in a country and you are in an international country, there's a lot of assistance. The library, every library in certain countries have a lot of people that can share information. Libraries about sharing information, right? And some people don't realize that. Some people just think the library is there to go and get a book about. No, the library is about sharing information about what's happening in our communities. And where I'm at in the international country, I went to the library a lot, and every organization that where you can get information is somewhat close to the library. And for international people that find themselves in international countries, they don't realize what to do and what's happening in the country, and they sometimes find themselves challenged. At the libraries, there's a lot. Libraries are the communication function of humanity. So the libraries have a lot of communication that they need to relate to humanity, and a lot of educations and a lot of bulletins that needs to be on when you're in countries, and even when you travel countries, where to get information at. Assistive centers and libraries at some countries, libraries are amazingly open on a Saturday also, yes. For those mamas who is not a who is working during the week and who is employed during the week. Other countries, libraries are not open on a Saturday, right? And that close to the library there's communication centers that gives you the right information. Where I'm at the library that I'm at in the community, the communication center is next to the library, and they tell you if whatever requirements you require in the country. They educate you on where to get information on when you're pregnant and what to do. The communication center is next to the library, and they have a whole lot of newsletters that they share, and every newsletter guides you on what to do when you are in the country and when you are not familiar with the processes in the country. And community centers in the country that you can sometimes be during the week if you are unemployed. And then there's community centers that you can go to that's open 3 times a week sometimes, and they sometimes share a cup of coffee in the morning, and they sometimes have talks in the morning, and they sometimes share on household circumstances. If you may be international and you maybe find yourself challenged, there's by the library, every library has close to the library the centers there. I can't remember the center's name, and but where I'm at, the center is next to the library, and they have a whole lot of. And in the library where I'm at in this region, there's also 3 days a week where different teams comes, the pregnancy teams come, and they educate the community. There's different meetings that happens there that has got to do maybe with education, women abuse, and all of those things. And then there's also challenges. Maybe if you find yourself in countries, or you are maybe sometimes pressurized by the lifestyle choices in our generation. Man and woman issues is a whole lot. So we mentioned that, yes, we appreciate the processes, but we mentioned the educations that is sometimes there, and that's amazing. That's New Zealand. New Zealand is amazing. Sometimes it gets hectic and you don't remember all these processes, and other times you do remember the processes are there. And yeah, so it's a little bit the only thing I say when it comes to the foods in New Zealand, everything is fine, but the whole world is full of international people. Always because of what we are eating. Not because of the foods only, but there's a lot of drugs and cocaine, right? That there's a lot of cocaine drugs that comes into countries, right? And that goes into foods, and it sometimes makes people edgy and all these. Yes, in South Africa we knew already what foods that sometimes there's what in what products we buy from the south and what products we do not buy, and what products we check properly on the labels what is in the products, and what products are really manufactured by people themselves in factories that are really not manufactured. So in South Africa, we already know all of those challenges that the world has and the processes that there is, and how we should check everything. In New Zealand, New Zealand had a lot of challenges with it, with that sometimes. And what, because of all the international people, right? So it's not that it was all over the place. No, it was that everyone had to make sure that the people that they are employing is not involved in certain still wars happening in different countries. So those processes they have minutes for years now very thoroughly. The only thing we are cautious on is when we watch these programs where people travel into the country and you look at the cocaine and drugs that are sometimes being imported. They're sometimes being not imported, that are sometimes, coming in without having that it's not unlegally, right? And drugs is most not legal in the world, but those cocaine sometimes goes into the foods and it makes us edgy and it makes us aggressive and we don't realize it's in the food. And you get aggressive sometimes. In one food that I've realized that needs to be checked in New Zealand a lot is the milk. I love milk, but that makes me talk a lot. And I really, full cream milk I drink. And they really need to monitor a lot in my house because there's lots of like things in our houses that people listen in and when we talk to ourselves and so on. But the milk, I really always shout loud when there's foods that they need to check on. Milk is one of those producers that is the only thing that makes me aggressive. And I sometimes do not drink it for quite some time to just monitor how I am because I know coffee makes me aggressive. I'm very, very attentive to how my body reacts when I eat certain food. So milk is one of those things that I'm questioning, but I'm still drinking it sometimes, and I'm still enjoying it. Other times, I will only drink the tea the way the tea without the milk. Yeah, and that's the actual reason we love milk. And I remember me and my Anton being little, and then we said, "Mama, I used to never like milk, right?" And we also had a pumpkin problem, but our pumpkin problem has got to do with probably with my front teeth that I took out, and then I had false teeth. But it's actually maybe not that. And we didn't never eat pumpkin. Another thing that we never ate because we were two youngest siblings, right? Me and my brother Anton. And then we always were very, very, ever since we were little, we were very attentive to what we eat and what we do not eat and how the world is. And we were very on that mindset. And we grew up and I never used to want any milk. Maybe I knew there's stuff in milk. Maybe there's all this years stuff in milk. And I never used my milk. And I say, you're a beer, you did not have no milk. And I was very skinny when I was young. And I really didn't want to have nothing to do with milk and nothing to do with pumpkin because pumpkin is maybe, the front teeth out in Halloween season. And these years I really have my front teeth out. And it's really funny. And I really have false teeth in the forefront front. That's just of it for years now. But it's been amazing. And my front teeth chips, and now it looks a little bit odd sometimes, but I leave it at that. I had the most amazing teeth. Everyone, but because I didn't drink milk, I really had the most good-looking teeth. My teeth was very firm, very upfront. My smile was amazing when I was young. And then something happened. I think I ate too much apple, and I really don't want people to not eat apple. But apple is one thing that I really do not eat a lot about anymore. They say one apple a day keeps the doctor away, but Ribea Elise, and you can see the opposite of that is one apple away can poison you. Antoinette, my sister, was like that. She used to check was on university. Not all the food. She came and then she leave the bread, and then she also checks how it got after some time when you leave the bread. And then I learned to also be like that. You learn from your siblings, right? And then I checked when I eat foods, how is my body responding to it, right? And then I learned that apple, I used to eat a lot of apple, and then my gum started to pain on top, right? And then my tooth had a little bit of something, and because of all the apples. But the apples is nice, but you bite with your front teeth, and I didn't realize that because I was young. And then when I really had the apple, and I had a lot of apples, and then my teeth starts, my one front teeth started to rot, and I didn't fix it. I thought you have to take it all out. And then the one teeth was rotten, and then I was like, yo, my whole image changed because my eyes were always very, very firm. People always used to say, yo, you have a nice eyes. your facial structure is nice. And then I had to take, then the teeth got a chip in, and then I thought, yo, what am I now going to do? Because my whole face is changing. I'm gonna check now. I think my back is second part of this video again later. And then front teeth starts to get the one teeth starts to get a gap in, and then we went to the dentist, and the dentist took it out, and I was after that so disappointed because I had to look at teeth, and then my teeth was not so nice anymore because it was false teeth. But I didn't actually look odd with it, and then I was fine with the person who made the false teeth because very well and very nice. So I was very fine with that. But milk is good for the teeth. The apple is not bad, but it can sometimes rotten the teeth. And when the apple can rotten your teeth, it can rotten in your tummy. A banana is not bad. I have a banana every now and then, but a banana can rotten in your tummy if it's digesting a lot properly, and if you do not go to the loo regularly with stooling, then sometimes it can rot in your tummy. And I've monitored it also myself, and I've checked how an apple gets, and it can really sometimes it's very good for the body, but the digestive system and your immune system, and how regularly you go to the loo about it, the processing of all of that, and how you eat, what you eat after that is also that can sometimes leave poison in the human tummy that we need to be cautious of. Those are things that I've monitored. Why I monitored the banana? Because my mama used to eat very much a lot of bananas. And then I'm like a worm. And I always was a bit cautious of that because years after that, when my mama was 60, my mama got cancer for a whole lot of reasons. That doesn't die. We must monitor how regularly we eat. What I've learned out of it is how regularly we eat certain foods we must monitor. And when it's really, when we look at a food and it gets rotten easily, how rotten does it get, right? What might it had in the tummy? And those digestive times that you have to go to the loo on a regular basis, once a day to go and have a how do you call it? Go and have a poo. Let's say it like that. Sorry for my food, but we have to say it the way it is. Yes, to go and have that stool, and do that. We need to do that on a regular basis with certain foods that we have. And we need in a natural way. And I eat the banana, yes, I eat the apple, but I do not eat too much of it. And I listen to how my immune system responds and how I respond to when I really want to eat, certain types of foods. And that is just it of what we wanted to say today. Now we're gonna have our meal, we're gonna enjoy our breakfast. You can enjoy your breakfast the same, and we maybe gonna do our lunchtime with everyone later today. And we will maybe share our cup of let me just get more. can just add some more milk to some more to my porridge, and I can warm the milk, and it's very nice, and I'm really excited about it. Mm, it's nice. When I talk so much on my videos, I'm not gonna make time to be a bit calm and quiet, like I was shouting yesterday, right? I don't know why my pregnancy is so different. I can get very, I can get very direct sometimes. Yeah. And treat yourself, everyone, when you're pregnant, treat yourselves. It's amazing. It's amazing to treat yourselves. We're gonna see our pregnant tummy now before our camera goes off. And we're gonna see our tummy today with everyone. Let me just put the camera. So today we are like, so yes, tummy is a little bit hard. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes maybe comes forth a lot. Other times maybe it's a little bit weird. My bad side of my body, probably because my womb is so stretched, right? And probably because of the two babas that I had. That baby goes to lay sometimes a year. And we really think due date, but we really need to take it a little bit calm. We really think due date is about, yeah, baby, and we really think due date is baby's kicking a lot, yeah. Baby's working, baby's kicking a lot. Really think due date is about where we at now, 7.5, beginning October, mid October, mid October, end of September. Pregnancies are different. It's very different, but it's very interesting. We're gonna have calm days, and we're gonna nurture a little bit more, and we're gonna have relaxed days a little bit more, and we're gonna nurture where we are at and where we find ourselves at. That is all, everyone. And that is all for what we want to say today. And we're gonna have later today another moment of lunchtime that we're gonna do with everyone. And after our lunchtime, we can have relaxed time. YouTube guys who's in the office and share videos. Don't hide it away. We know the world is against Ribea. We know India don't like Ribea saying Rishi Sunak in who else? In Emily Manuel, and then India is also there. On Instagram, that Indian manager that owns Instagram, yes, and that owns YouTube about it. Share my videos. Don't be difficult on yourselves and be one-sided in this world, I always say. So yeah, who's the Indian guy again? I saw him another day. The Instagram person. You know me all these years, but don't be difficult on yourselves. Also, say my word, Indian guys, don't miss on it. That's about it, everyone, that I wanted to say for today. I'm not a difficult person, and I know you're like owning all of this, and you have all of this, and because I'm very direct about it. So don't abuse what you own, Indian guys. India needs to be fixed. Don't try to overpower the world and share my videos with everyone. And that's it for us for this morning, everyone. Have an amazing morning further. We're going to see you later today with you again.